Hey everyone, Julie Bogart here, coming to you from Catalina, California. I am on one of those delayed family reunions that was supposed to happen in the year of COVID. And this year we redesigned it to happen in 2021. So here we are. California is my home state, and these are my home people, and it is really wonderful to be with them. Today we are going to talk about the dart, the arrow, and the boomerang. And those products and the slingshot, those products represent our literature programs that also teach the mechanics of writing. And many of you have submitted questions. We have 2 days left of our June special offer. So that's why we're doing this today, to answer those questions for you. So in June, if you purchase one of our year-long writing programs called the Dart, the Arrow, or the Boomerang, or if you purchase our slingshot in the college prep bundle, any one of those 4 products gets you instant lifetime access to the Brave Learner Home, which is our membership community. So that's why we're doing this today, because you only have 2 days left. For those of you who know nothing about us, or you've been sitting with these items in your shopping cart, you're not sure whether or not to click the bundle purchase or the year-long purchase, I'm here to answer your questions and make it super easy for you. So one of the questions that people ask me are, what do the dart, the arrow, the boomerang, and the slingshot teach? So each of these products covers a certain age range, and they focus on novels that you read aloud to your children, and then instruction, information around the mechanics of writing related to that novel. So the dart is for our youngest kids, 8 to 10 years old. The arrow is for 11 and 12-year-olds. The boomerang is for 13 and 14-year-olds. And our brand new program called the slingshot is for 15 to 18-year-olds. These 4 levels each have books that we recommend you read with your children. The dart, the arrow, and the boomerang have 10 of them, and the slingshot has 5 every other month, because they're meatier, heavier books because your kids are older. Each of these focused novels, so August, you're going to have a novel. For Dart, Arrow, Boomerang, Slingshot, you'll have a novel in September. Each of those novels, we write a literature handbook to go with them. And inside that handbook, you're going to find 4 copywork or dictation passages and notes that give you an intentional look at punctuation, grammar, spelling, literary devices like onomatopoeia or rhyme or foreshadowing, and then a look at how to read these books and develop reading comprehension. Every single one of these handbooks comes out on the first of the month of that designated novel, and we will give you private access to the folder where those are housed, and you'll have the opportunity to start downloading on the first, and then they will stay there for you all the way through the rest of the school year. Those programs are supported by webinars that I've given, and also webinars by our trained staff. Where do you watch these wonderful webinars? Inside Brave Learner Home. Inside Brave Learner Home. Here's what's exciting. In the Brave Learner Home, you will be going through these programs with other parents and our coaching staff. So let's say you purchase the Dart, and month 1, you're reading the book and you're using the handbook, and you have a sudden question about powerful verbs or the semicolon, and you're not quite getting it yet from the way we've described it. You can trot right into the Brave Learner Home, ask your question in the community discussion space, and fellow Brave Learner Home members and trained staff will give you suggestions and advice to get you back on your writing way and your teaching way with your kids. So this month, all you need to do is purchase Dart, Arrow, Boomerang, or Slingshot in the College Prep Bundle, and you will automatically have that free lifetime access for $129. Starting on July 1st, you have to spend $198 to get that same membership opportunity in Brave Learner Home. So this is why we're doing this today, because we know you only have 2 days left, and that's what you're going to need to be able to act and make that purchase. Okay, so the next question I got is, if I use the literature singles instead of the year-long program, will I miss any key concepts? So our literature singles are built from our year-long programs. So we've been doing these darts and arrows and all these programs, arrow and boomerang in particular, since 2003. So we have an archive of a whole bunch of books that we've written for, and you can purchase those a la carte in our store under the icon called Literature Singles. You will not miss any key concepts because we use a spin and spiral approach. We come back to concepts over and over again, refracted through a new novel, whatever novel that is. So yeah, you can buy an array of them from there. Here's what you need to know. The literature singles cost more a la carte than if you buy a bundle, a year-long program of 10. So it's $129 to buy 10 arrows, but it's $14.95 to buy an individual one. So to get 10 of those, you'd be spending about $20 more. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you're going to buy 10 single issues, you might think about buying the year-long program to save a little money and to get in Brave Learner Home. We do not put you in Brave Learner Home automatically if you buy 10 single issues. You would need to spend $198. So I hope that clarifies that. Is Brave Writer a complete language arts program? What is the difference, for example, between Arrow and partnership writing? Such a great question. Brave Writer is a complete language arts program when you have 3 components. The first component has to do with how you think, self-expression that your child wants to convey. That's the first piece. And we teach that in my writing manual called The Writer's Jungle. The second piece would be transcription, learning how to transcribe those original thoughts, handwriting, spelling, punctuation, paragraphing. We teach the mechanics through our literature program. We use someone else's writing to teach your kids how to transcribe. It lowers the stakes and makes learning the mechanics so much easier and more pleasant for your kids. So that would be the dart, the arrow, the boomerang, or the slingshot. The third leg is what we call writing projects, what you might call a writing assignment. So writing a letter, making a list, composing an essay, writing a story, understanding how to do a lap book or create a chart. These are all writing projects. And in our program, those projects have really fun names. The first one is Jot It Down. That is where your child expresses themselves to create a writing project, but you are doing the transcription work. So that's like for 5 to 8-year-olds. Partnership writing is the product for your kids who are like 9 to 12. And it gives them the opportunity, or 9 to 11, excuse me, gives your kids the opportunity to partner with you to write a project. Like our very first project in that one is secret codes. Just playing with language, learning how to write a secret code, how to be creative and thoughtful in your output. And then we have faltering ownership for the junior high level and help for high school for the high school level. So to recap, to have a rich program that's complete, buy one of our bundles that has 3 products in it. The beginning writers bundle for your youngest kids, the growing writers bundle for your kids who can read and are starting to write a little bit, the middle school writers bundle, the high school bundle, or the college prep bundle. Those bundles bring together the elements that you need to have a complete program. All right, my child is between levels. How do I decide which level to purchase? And what if my child is below grade level? Great question. So I always say that it doesn't almost matter what level you purchase because your child can only perform at the level of their capability. So buying something too hard for them doesn't make them perform better. It just makes them miserable. But if you buy a product that is either a little easier or matches their skill set, they will have the capacity to grow. And that range is significant. You might have a child who, for instance, is reading well at age 7 and finds the dart really wonderful and just challenging enough. And you might have a 10-year-old who's just learning to read, and the dart will be plenty challenging because the content transcends grade level, right? Like Verbs have to be understood whether you're 7 years old or 13. And we approach verbs at a sort of age level maturity understanding more than a grade level understanding. So, what we say if you have lots of kids is aim for the middle. Pick your child with sort of the middle skills. If you have 5 kids, 13 down to 8, you might aim for the 10-year-old. And then you can sort of scale up for your older kids or scale down for your younger kids. I hope that makes sense. But our products help you know how to do that. We've got guidelines, and inside Brave Learner Home, we will even talk to you specifically, your actual family, so that you really feel comfortable with whatever it is you've chosen. You can do 2 levels at once. Someone is asking, can I do 2 levels at once? You can. Here's the catch. I don't want you to work so hard. It is hard as a parent to manage multiple grade levels, multiple programs, multiple outcomes all at once, like this one-room schoolhouse. Homeschoolers have an advantage. You can create the conditions for family learning. So what that means is that you can actually read the same book to your children, use a product that covers more than one age. However, occasionally you'll have like a DART child and a kid who's really ready for the boomerang, and they're just too far apart in maturity. My recommendation at that point is purchase the 2 programs, but alternate months. Focus on the younger child 1 month and the older child the next month. And in the off month, so what's your DART child going to do while you're working with your older child on the boomerang during October? Well, your DART child can be practicing with handwriting sheets, working on phonics, listening to the story, and then they'll be ready for another deep dive into the mechanics of writing the following month. Meanwhile, your boomerang level child can work intensively with you during their month, and in the off month, they can be reading a novel of their own choosing and having big, juicy conversations with you about it, and maybe even picking their own passages for copy work. So never worry about alternating months or going slow to go fast, or even having your kids at the same level together, even if they're not the same age. What does it mean to have natural conversations about grammar, punctuation, spelling, and literary devices? Favorite question of today. A natural conversation means you're not in the mode of teaching, you're in the mode of discovery. You get to look at a passage and say something like this to your child. Why do you think that made us nervous? Do you feel, I'm feeling suspenseful, like I want to know what's coming next, but I'm a little worried about it. What about you? And then your child says, yeah, I feel the same way. Or no, I don't feel that way at all. And then you're going to look at the text together and say, why is it that we feel a little fearful? What words stand out to us? And then you start looking at those words. Gosh, they used a lot of repeated sh sounds, which makes it sound like the trees are moving and the forest floor is moving and somebody might slither out any moment. That was probably intentional. And then look at these exclamation points. Oh my gosh, they're alerting us to danger. So you're deconstructing what you're reading based on your response to the literature, which is very different than, say, a worksheet that says, we're going to look at onomatopoeia today. Here are some random sentences that say cock-a-doodle-doo. Okay, now you understand it. Those are more didactic, like just trying to get you to understand the definition. What Brave Writer does is we actually create an environment of curiosity and discovery so that you start to turn the camera lens on yourselves to imagine how the writer achieved that effect. Here's the hidden secret. When you start doing that, your children are creating a file cabinet of tools they can use in their own writing at another point in time. And that's what we've seen over and over with our Brave Writer students, is that as they manifest literary devices in their writing, they know they're doing it. It's coming from an intentional place because they've learned it in this natural way. Someone asked, is there an answer key for the parent? Actually, there kind of is. We have these guidelines that come with these handbooks to help you really understand how to best explore passages and teach these finer points that I'm mentioning today. But for reading comprehension, we really hope that you're reading the books with your kids, especially anyone who is under 13. When you get to the high school level, it's helpful for you to do a shortcut. You could read Spark Notes just to have enough information to have a good conversation with your child. You might choose to listen to the audiobook together. You might choose to read every other month together. So we do recommend having some familiarity with the storyline so those conversations can be natural. But here's the key. We're not looking for right answers. We're looking for your child's insights. So those have this free form. They take a free form. It is not oriented towards like an SAT question where they're like, what happened on the third Thursday in May in chapter 13? That is not reading comprehension. That is actually asking for a different skill that is more about test taking, actually. What we're looking for is owning your own insights and internalization of your understanding. And we make that most visible in great conversations. Number 8, how long will it take my kids to start using what they learn in their original writing? Gosh, that varies. I've seen kids do it instantly. I've seen some kids a year later, they suddenly say to their mom, their mom says something like, wow, I felt so much suspense in your writing. And they say, yeah, remember last year when we were talking about foreshadowing? I thought I would try it this year. So it's a range. But here's the good news. The timetable is irrelevant. The more you put in, the more opportunity there is for them to both implement it in their writing, but also discover and notice it in other people's writing. And that's really the goal of this instruction. Number 9, what is the Brave Learner Home and what kind of support will I receive there? Glad you asked. The Brave Learner Home is our membership community of more than 8,000 members. We have a team of about 6 or 8 people who come in and actually answer your questions. That space has in it a masterclass library of interviews we've done with like New York Times bestselling authors like Goldie Muhammad and Bill Stixrud. And Barbara Oakley. We've got people in there talking to you about psychological flexibility and self-compassion. We have people telling you about the history of the English language and how to teach math better. In other words, the Brave Learner Home helps your entire homeschool. We've also got an archive of lesson plans that show you how to teach across the curriculum for a wide variety of topics like spiders, weather, nature studies, STEM topics, handicrafts. But we show you how all of that can be taught across all the subject areas: math, science, history, literature, movies, film, right? So all of that lives inside the Brave Learner Home, in addition to these webinars and trainings and community discussion around how to implement Brave Writer products. I see it as a one-stop shop to ensure your success as a homeschooler and a Brave Writer member, a person who uses our program. Finally, do I have to purchase a year-long program to qualify for the Brave Learner Home? No. You can qualify by taking an online class that has a tuition of over $198. You can qualify by purchasing $198 worth of products inside of our store. And that is ongoing all year. What stops tomorrow is this $129 offer that is exclusive to Dart, Arrow, Boomerang, and the College Prep Bundle, which includes the Slingshot. That's the only time of year this offer happens, is June. We've only done it twice. We don't know if we'll keep doing it, but we did it this year because we saw such benefit last year. And that expires tomorrow at midnight in your time zone. So just know you have one more day to make good on that offer. And you will love it. I'm telling you, the Brave Learner Home, when people actually get in there, it's like, you know how you always want to find a good podcast or you want to find a good YouTube webinar? It's all there. You don't have to go anywhere else. There are dozens of things for you to listen to, watch, download. I mean, the wealth of materials and the fact that it is all included without any more cost to you is kind of remarkable. We used to charge $198 a year for that product. And I said, you know what? When our families invest deeply in Brave Rider, I want them to have the coaching they need to be successful. So last year, we waived that membership fee and we made it possible for people to join, and it ballooned. And we've just had a fabulous year as a result. So I'm really, really hoping that you will jump in there with us and become one of the members. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me today. And we are really excited for you to meet us. I do webinars in Brave Learner Home. We have this one really amazing feature we call a check-in, which is live. It is a meeting on Zoom, sort of Brady Bunch style, where we can see everyone's faces. And I go to all of them and we have all these conversations. And then at the end, we do a little visualization to help us relax, like a little meditation where we sort of exit the thinky part of our lives and we enter into a little more joy, a little more rest, a little more peace. And that's a way for you to actually meet the community, get to know what they look like, hear their stories about their families, and ask questions of the staff. So that's in addition to everything else I told you about. We even have a 52-week self-care email that comes to you so that once a week you are given a tool you can use to thrive and be at peace all year long. So the price of the dart, the arrow, the boomerang, and the slingshot stays consistent through the whole year. It's $129 for 10 months of those programs. What does not stay consistent is starting on July 1st, that is not enough to get the Brave Learner Home membership. Starting July 1st, you'll need an additional purchase up to $198 before we just give you Brave Learner Home. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me on my vacation. I'm going to keep this one short. I'm going to hop on Instagram Live real briefly to fill them in on what they missed, and have a fabulous holiday weekend coming up. We all deserve it. I hope you get to have some skin on hugs like I've gotten to have. It is such a joy to be this side of the pandemic. And I really hope that you are getting to take advantage of that feeling as well. We will see you inside Brave Learner Home. I cannot wait to meet you. We are going to have so much fun this year, and that you will join us. Thank you for coming live or on replay. Thanks, everybody.